England battled to a hard fought and even harder to watch victory over Wales. My name is Mark, let's talk rugby. It was fine margins early on in this one. England, they win a free kick at a scrum. We then have a great kick up and under from Farrell, and Adams can't quite claim it despite juggling with it a bit. Ball goes loose, is kicked through, it goes over the try line, and Liam Williams just about beats Henry Arundel to the ball to prevent a try. Could have been a nice early score for England, but I think Liam Williams did really well to cover that. Tane Plumtree then gets pinged for diving on an emerging ball. Farrell kicks it up the line. Wales then are offside in their own 22. Farrell calls for the tee, and he opens the scoring is 3-0 to England. England are looking more fluid in possession. We have some good early carries from the likes of Daly, Arundel, Vunipola and Stewart, but there's still errors in there, and moves are breaking down. Wales not really in the game at all at this stage. Wales then they lose a scrum against the head in their own 22. The ball squirts out. Earl kicks it through, and Wales scramble behind their own line to prevent a try. Wales then finally get their first real chance from a 5-metre line-out, but England are able to sack them all and turn the ball over. Both teams making plenty of errors, but England's pressure is forcing Wales to make the lion's share of those. Wales then, they were under pressure at scrum time early on, but they finally win the first of a few scrum penalties that they won today. That allows them to get into English territory, but then Dewi Lake overthrows the line-out for the second time in the game, and Wales did it a bunch of times throughout the rest of the game as well. At this stage, I'm looking for positives for Wales, and all I can really think of is that they're playing so badly, but they're only 3-0 down. Parry then comes on to replace Lake, who goes off injured. His leg was strapped when he was sitting on the sidelines. It's like 26 minutes at this stage. England's backline look like they're getting very close to clicking, but still not able to get that final pass that would unlock that Welsh defence, and handling errors really costing them. Owen Farrell then kicks a bit too deep, and Liam Williams manages to claim a decent mark. He decides to go quickly from it. He taps it. Arundel just outside the 22 tackles him, so he didn't retreat. He gets a 10-minute rest in the bin for cynical play. And I'm thinking at that stage, well, Wales, now you've got a chance to come into the game and start exerting yourselves a little bit, or imposing yourselves, should I say. Then at the same time, Jack Van Poortvliet, he's replaced. He had a clash with one of his own players out near the sideline, and he had to be helped off the field. Looked pretty bad for him. Hopefully himself and Lake and all the others, there was tons of actually injuries in the game. Hopefully all of them are back for the Rugby World Cup. Ben Youngs is in at scrum half for England. Wales managed to work it up the field, and they win a penalty in the England 22. They decide to kick it into the corner. They get the ball going forward, but again, England are in there to disrupt. They get it down and they turn the ball over. They then win the penalty at the scrum and are able to clear. Adam Beard then gets pinged for collapsing maul, and Owen Farrell kicks the penalty into the corner. England then win another penalty. They've got the advantage, can't do anything with it, so we come back. Wales get a warning for persistent infringement. Farrell then makes it 6-0 at half time, and penalty was straight front, so it was pretty easy for him. But England ahead, but Rugby the big loser from that first half. Into the second half then, first couple of minutes, Raffle gets pinged for hands on the ground, and he gets a yellow card because obviously that warning that they got for the first half was still in effect. And now, numbers are evened up. Farrell extends the lead to 9-0 with the penalty. England then concede a scrum penalty, and Owen Williams puts Wales on the board, makes it 9-3. But his penalty actually hit the post and went over. Courtney Laurels then managed to nick a Welsh 5-metre line out, very close to the Welsh line, but then Wales managed to turn the ball over, at the breakdown, and then they actually win a penalty shortly after that as well. Tame Plumtree then leaves the field. He kind of was holding his arm like a little bit gingerly, so again, hopefully he's okay. England then put some good phases together, including, there was a decent break from Lawrence, but Liam Williams managed to get over the ball and win a penalty for Wales, and they're able to clear. Liam Williams, I thought, was Wales' best player by a mile today. Wales then win another scrum penalty. Genge then gets sent to the sin bin for this one. Wales kick to within about 10 metres of the English line. They maul it to within 5. Then Thomas Williams snipes to within about a metre. They go for pick and goes and one out runners and a pounding at the line. Not really getting over though, so they cross kick it to Adams. He's taken out in the air by Stewart. The ball breaks and then Liam Williams picks it up and he goes over. We then have a TMO review. Review shows Williams actually lost the ball under pressure from Stewart as he was trying to ground, but very clear that Stewart took Adams out in the air, and it would have been a penalty, it would have been a try other than his intervention. So he gets himself a yellow card, and it's a penalty try to Wales. England now down to 13 players temporarily. It's 10-9 to Wales. We then have another Wales overthrow at the line out, and this allows England to come forward. The ball goes loose and then Liam Williams counters. There's a little bit of excitement from this, but inevitably it breaks down. We then have another TMO check, and this time it's a high tackle from Owen Farrell. He gets a yellow card, and it's signalled as an off-field review to see whether it warranted a red. England now have 12 players on the field, and the first thing I'm thinking is they need more chairs in the sin bin area, because I've just seen the 3 of them lined up there. Wales, though, do finally exploit the numbers. Liam Williams counters from close to his own line. They come up to the line then. Bigger puts, I think it was Roberts, through a gap. Off he goes. And then, he's got plenty of support. He draws the cover and puts Tomas Williams under the post. Bigger converts this one, and it's 17-9 to Wales. Wales, that was pretty much the only attacking move Wales put together pretty much in the whole game, but they're still in the lead. England then finally muster a response. They maul over from, they had a penalty, went to the corner, set up the maul. They go over, Toji's score. Forward adds the extras for this one, and it's 17-16, just a single point in the game. We then hear that Farrell's yellow has been upgraded to a red, so he's going to be sweating on, what's going to happen now with his disciplinary hearing. England, then they're playing with penalty advantage. Ford tries to cross kick to Merchant over the try line, but it's very clear on the replays that he knocks on, despite the cheers from the crowd. During the replays, it's very clear that it was no try. Beard, though, gets himself a yellow card, and then that means that the numbers are evened up with about 6 minutes to go. Both teams have 14 on the field. Ford strokes over the penalty. 19-17, England take the lead. Wales then tried to go from their own 22 with the final play of the game, but they knock it on, didn't even get outside their own 22. Full time is 19-17. So what do I think about, how the teams come out of this? So Wales, didn't really have anything go their way at all today. Lineout was an absolute disaster. Too many mistakes with ball in hand. Scrum kind of seesawed. They had a period in the middle where they were on top, but at the start and then at the last kind of 20 minutes, they were definitely second best there. England, they weren't much better, honestly. Scrum was under pressure at times. They had lots of handling errors, not much penetration from the likes of Binny Vunipola. I think at this stage, a lot of teams have worked out how to handle him. That Merchant Lawrence midfield combo that should be exciting and click didn't really get a chance because they just couldn't string enough phases together to actually get them in midfield working together. Then you got Captain Owen Farrell red carded, and now, as I said, he's sweating on how long his ban is actually going to be. We have injuries on both sides. Looked like Van Poortvliet was the worst of them all, but hopefully everyone is back for the Rugby World Cup. And then, something that I have to say now is like sometimes as fans, we forget that it doesn't have to be, champagne entertaining rugby for a squad to take confidence from a game. And I think England will look at this as a win, having been down to 12 at one stage and then also getting a red card. So they'll definitely take positives out of this, and that will help them with confidence going into the Rugby World Cup. Wales, I think they just have to move on from this and work on the major problems that were highlighted today. And then final thought is any recording of this game should be consigned to a bin at the bottom of the Barry Island Trench, because nobody's watching this again.